we'll go on to some care and cleaning on the kegs. It's really important that you sanitize as well as you can, especially with the kegs. And I've learned this firsthand. I had my first bad batch here about 3 weeks ago, and I believe it came from the keg. I got a bacterial infection, which soured my porter, which is not any fun to deal with. On the kegs, there's 5 components that will rebuild a keg, and those are these gaskets. You have the lid gasket, which is the big one. That will be on the lid, and it sits right along this rim. And when you put these in, kind of put them in sideways, give it a half turn, close the lid. I'll pick it up by the lid when it's full and kind of give it a jiggle side to side. That'll help seat this rim in with the gasket. Now the other 4 gaskets are for the post in the dip tubes. On the post, to seal against this ball lock fitting, there's a rubber gasket. And a lot of times those will leak and cause beer to come out on the liquid side, or you'll hear gas hiss from the other. Generally, if you replace those seals, that will take care of most of the problem. You can either take a jewelry pick or use your fingers and pull it and slide it off, and then they go on just the same way. Fairly easy to do. The post gaskets for the gas and liquid usually take the brunt end of damage because you're sliding the posts on and off, and that's what causes that.
How often do you have to replace those with normal usage then?
It's dependent on how they look. I generally say when people get into a kegging system, buy a gasket set to have at home so that you're not stumbling back here when you have a party or have people over and you can't use your system. It's a fairly fail-safe way just having them at home. And I believe these are right around $4 for the gasket set. The other 2 gaskets that I haven't talked about yet are underneath these posts. And I'll pull these off. I already hand loosened them here to make my life a little easier so I didn't have you guys watch me struggle with the wrench. But on the post will come off. There's a little poppet valve on the inside. And that's the valve that's going to seat everything when there's pressure on it. And that's got a little spring on it. I'll pass that around here in a second. And that's inside the post. The other gasket that I was talking about sits on the dip tubes. There's a liquid dip tube and a gas dip tube. So once you get the post off, this liquid tube will pull out. There's a gasket that seats right at the top of this. So you'll slide it on this way, it'll sit in, and then you can drop it back in. So that's the liquid tube. The gas post, depending on the keg, whether or not it's a Corny keg or Firestone, Champion, there's several different brands that everybody still calls Corny kegs. This post will be in all of them. Some of them are plastic, some of them are metal. And it's the same situation there where you've got the rubber O-ring underneath that gas post. What I recommend doing is about every 3 to 4 kegs that you run through, pull it apart and at least sanitize everything, inspect the O-rings, and see where you're at from there. If it shows any damage, if there's cracks on them, if they're hard, you know, replace them. They're fairly cheap. You're in there anyways, and have pulled it apart. So that's kind of the brunt on how it pulls apart. I'll pass around that, and the poppet valve's loose in there if you want to pull it out and take a look at that. Now on the posts, now that you've got them off and can't remember which one goes back on which side, the post will tell you what it is. Basically on the gas post, and I'll pass this guy around too, there's lines that go through it that are kind of cut into the nut itself. That's going to be your gas post. That's really the only way to know which side are the gas posts and which side are the liquid posts. The other way to do it is to clip on your liquid line. If it clips on, it's your liquid post. So that's the gas side. And if you see there's the cuts in the nut,